Even for me? Seriously?
Okay, guys, so it's 2:00. Just want to get this started here and see maybe some more folks will join us. Dick Chilton will not be joining us this week. He had some other obligations, but he's promised to jump in from time to time on these calls, and which is awesome. He's just, as you guys have seen, and you've only seen it just to scratch the surface. I mean, the guy is really just a wealth of knowledge, and he's a great man. I mean, really, truly, some of the things he's done, you got to hear some of the stories. This guy's got stories. I mean, he was shot down in Vietnam. He's a helicopter pilot. He was a private pilot for one of the biggest real estate developers in the entire country for a few years, where he just flew all over the country. And he met Clint Eastwood during the filming of Dirty Harry, and he's got all these great stories. I mean, he's just an interesting dude. Plus all his sales experience. I mean, it's tremendous. But anyway, so we have started. I've started the recording. Housekeeping stuff. Just want to mention, so it's on record. The local by referral. Local sites, the sites that were the pages that we're building for you guys, they're undergoing a little bit of a change since last week's release. Just a slight change because there were a few little problems that I didn't even see before I recorded the video. But there were some formatting issues and also some copy things that need to be adjusted. So they're undergoing a slight change. Won't delay things at all, but it will look slightly different. You'll see the new version next week. So there's that piece. The book stuff, Wayne, I appreciate all your input and help, and ideas about how we can get more people. I just did another push for it on Facebook group today. I'm going to send out an email right after this call to all the members and just with the same information, let them know it's last call. But here, just so you have an update, what I think is going to happen, so far we've got 29 people plus Aaron and me, that's 31. So we were shooting for 40 because Greg needs $6,000 on this thing to make it viable for him to cover all his hard costs. And so 40 people, $6,000, that'd be 150 each. If we don't get 40, then there's two options. Number one is we put this on the back burner and we revisit it later on. We just don't do it at this point. Number two is everybody has to chip in a little bit more to do it. So if we right now, if we don't get any more, if we dead in the water at 31, which is still a nice chunk of people, but if that's where it stands, then it would be 195 each as opposed to 150 because it's got a total $6,000. Aaron and I don't even get anything out of that. So it's all going to Greg to cover his hard costs, but the price would go up. And so, at that point, who knows, maybe we get a few people that drop out as a result. I don't know. I would hope not, $45, but we'll see what happens. So, but we're going to wrap all this up by Monday or Tuesday at the latest. We'll know for sure one way or the other, and we will either move forward or we'll put it on the back burner. So those are the only updates I have. Aaron, you got anything?
That's pretty much it on my end.
Okay, great. All right. So then let's just get into it, guys. What can we help you with today, or answer any questions, or stuff you want to talk about? Keith, you got anything?
Yeah, first I was going to show you, I picked this up.
Oh, nice.
That came today, so I'm excited to read through that. So there you go.
Yeah. I've just scratched into it. I'm just doing a little bit of underlining. Have you dug into it, or you just?
I think I've read most of the first chapter, and it's just more of the intro. But that was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for this. So it's cool stuff. I have not had a chance to watch the video about the local by referral, but I mean, I think it's to me, it seems like just a fantastic thing. Just what I've, just what little we've seen so far. I'm starting to work on my list of people. I want to try to get at least 50. But I mean, let's see, Asheville the county is about 250,000 people, and it's a pretty. This is an alternative place in terms of lots of massage therapy, lots of yoga studios, lots of salons. I don't think I'm having any trouble getting 50 or 100 or whatever I need to get, to at least get the ball rolling with that. That's a super exciting thing. I actually just had a woman who owns her own salon just joined up as a member. And the first thing she said was like, maybe we should need to do some more networking. And I'm like, hi, I might have something for you. Just
awesome.
Give me a minute,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've been to Asheville. I used to live in Raleigh, so we go out to Asheville on occasion, and that's just gorgeous. You got that's a nice lifestyle out there, man. It's a beautiful country. But I was surprised it's expensive. Asheville's a little pricey,
It is. And that's one of the struggles. I'm in kind of a warehouse district, so my rent's pretty low, but I've looked at possibly moving to some higher traffic areas, and the price per square foot just it's I'm like, I think I'm fine right here. So
smart. Smart. Always, overhead is a killer.
Well, and that goes back to last week's conversation that I had with you guys about payroll, overhead, just trying to keep all those things in check so I can grow,
no doubt. That's great. And so, the local buy referral stuff is exciting. And frankly, that's going to be the way I see it. I mean, time will tell. It's always, you believe in something, you believe that the idea is sound and the strategy is sound. And so you push forward with it. And this is how, I've built businesses in the past. And sometimes things catch on and work, and sometimes they don't. I'm pretty optimistic based on my experience building businesses that this will be successful. I think the idea is right. The strategy behind it is right. It certainly fills a need. So if things do take off, and I believe they will, then we're going to build this big and hard, and it'll be significant. But even on a smaller scale, if it's just, the good news is there's no cost to you to do something like this, and all it does is build your recognition, your credibility, your authority, your connectedness within the community. There's so many benefits, and of course referrals. That's the whole purpose of it, is to generate a somewhat automated process for getting referrals from other local businesses. So I'm glad you're on board, Keith. I'm glad you're excited about it.
It's exciting. The book thing is exciting too, and I think that they go well together in terms of building that, like you said, that reputation and credibility in the community. So business to business networking and referrals, that can be a tough one. It can be a big time commitment. So it seems like this is going to make that a whole lot easier for a busy business owner, So.
No doubt. And not only is traditional networking, although there's tremendous value in it, if you're adept at those types of things and you have the time to put into it, there's a tremendous amount of value to it. But I agree with you. The way it is traditionally, it is very time consuming, and there's really no end goal. I mean, the end goal is hopefully to get more business, but there's no tactics that drive the process.
Right.
And that's what's missing. And that's what we're going to bring to the table, are tactics that can be implemented so everybody gets more referrals. So that it'll be exciting.
Well, I've got two questions then, and then I'll open, if you don't mind, and I'll open it up to everybody else. But one is around the local by referral. In terms of, I'm a member of the Asheville Chamber of Commerce. So I have right there, hundreds of businesses I could potentially reach out to in terms of becoming a part of this. Is there anything, do you see anything kind of maybe from an ethics standpoint, as far as I'm in this group and I'm going to use that group to broadcast my own local by referral thing? I mean, do you see any issues there, or should I talk to someone there first before I start inviting people into this? I don't know. I'm just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, and I think it's a good question. I'll give you my take on it, and then, Aaron and Wayne, you guys want to chime in on this too, and Tony as well. My take on it is that the purpose of the Chamber of Commerce is to stimulate local business. It's to generate more business in the local area, and of course nationwide as well, but the local Chamber of Commerce for the local area. So that's one point. The other point is it's always easier to what's the saying? It's always easier to apologize than to get permission, something like that. And so, but that sort of implies that there might be something, and I don't believe, from my perspective, I don't believe there's anything unethical about it, because what you're doing you're not pulling people away from the chamber. You're helping people that are already in the chamber do exactly what they're in the chamber to do, which is to grow their business, to get more business, to make better connections with business owners. So I think it supports and supplements and complements the chamber. It doesn't detract from it in any way. That's my take on it.
All right.
Yeah. Aaron, Wayne, Tony, go ahead, Wayne.
I was also going to access my chamber people, there's a whole group, but I wasn't going to access them through the chamber itself. I was just going to go through there and pull out the ones that I thought would be good contacts, and then contact them, individually, like from my business to their business, not identifying myself as a fellow chamber member or anything. And that way, you're not putting them in the middle.
Yeah, and I think that's fine, whatever you're comfortable with. But frankly, it's a little further down the road. But one of my objectives with this is to, I'm going to directly reach out to local chambers and offer them videos and content and things that promote local by referral, and hopefully do some webinars with them to educate them about the process. So I don't see any problem going through them, using them as a conduit, because again, I think their purposes, their goals, and our goals are aligned. Right. But you need to do what you're comfortable doing, and I think what you just described makes complete sense. That's fine. It's just a matter of comfort level.
Well, since you said you guys are going to be reaching out to the chambers yourself, you want us to do it first, or if we start out on the wrong foot and then you come in and try to contact them the right way, did we ruin it for you if we did it the wrong way?
No. And it's always going to be more effective and better until we reach a certain level of impact or a certain level of credibility. I'm not sure what the right word is to describe it. It's going to be much easier for you to get an opportunity to spread this message there than it will be for us. It's going to take knocking on a lot of doors for us initially, and then once we get some momentum, things will get easier. But no, there's no wrong way, because again, I think this just goes back to the whole ethics question. We're not doing anything wrong here, and we're all on the same team. Our objective is to increase business for all these local businesses, and that's exactly what the Chamber of Commerce is designed to do. Yeah.
Okay. Just don't screw it up.
Yeah. Aaron, anything you want to add to that other than the don't screw it up comment?
Well, I have to be honest that I was receiving a phone call from Forrest Walden at that very moment when he was asking the question, so I muted myself as I took that call. So I didn't quite catch the question. Could you repeat it?
Well, we're just talking about the ethics and the different ways to access the chamber and stuff like that. But I know that you have experience, and this is Aaron. You've done a decent amount of stuff with DNI and other networking groups and stuff like that. So you bring that experience to the table. So I just looking for any comments that you might have, but.
Yeah. So listen, I can't even begin to envision how it's a conflict of interest any more than having a BNI guy attend a chamber meeting or vice versa. I can't even envision how it could possibly be a problem.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're going to all find as we move forward that we're very warmly received from the chamber. It's just a matter of cutting through the noise, because these guys are getting hit all the time with different people trying to get access to their people and things like that. So, but once the message is clear to them and they see what's happening, I think it's going to be smooth sailing from that point on.
What would really advance that, I think, is if when you launch your local by referral chapter, if that chapter then in turn became an official business member of the chamber, you're golden.
And that's a great idea. And I think that, I wouldn't necessarily, because there's always an investment involved. The chamber always wants your money. They want to help you make money, but they want your money first. I think that's a great idea and something that we can look at as we progress forward and see if maybe there's some way we can generate the funds internally. And I don't see any problem. You say you have 10 people in your group and the chamber's charging whatever, $1,000 a year for that business deal or whatever. Yeah, that's $100 a pop to be in that. That might be a worthwhile investment. So that's a great idea, and it's something we'll look into. Yeah. All right, Keith, anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I had one other quick question. It's back to referrals, actually. What I'm finding is the new people we have coming, I just did this 6-week thing, so we have a lot of new people in. They're already actually referring people. And I get that the science or the psychology behind that. They're new, they're excited, they're bringing their friends in. Members who have been here a while, though, because we haven't really built. One reason why I wanted to do this is we never really did a good job building a culture of referrals around here. We've always had, hey, if you bring in a friend, you get this, and we mention every once in a while. Do you guys have any thoughts or comments around, trying to kind of reestablish that culture with people who've been members here for 3 years, 5 years? I mean, some of them have been here 10 years. And it's, just trying to, re-engage with them and say, hey, this is, what we're doing here, or whatever. But
yeah, I hear you. I'll take my thought is that I think that the way I see the dynamic unfolding is that your new people, the culture will be much more easily ingrained in the newer folks. And as you've already said and seen, the new folks are more excited and they're getting on board quicker. And now that you have the systems to facilitate the referral process, it becomes easier. They start generating more referrals. So then what you do is you leverage the whole competitiveness and the whole social proof element by showcasing these new folks who are generating these referrals, by putting them on your wall of fame and making sure that other people, your other members, are hearing that these new people are generating all these referrals. And then, I think the older folks, the folks who've been around for a while, will start to see this and assimilate more into that culture. So I just think it's a process. I don't think that there's any real quick fix to it. I think it's a process, but I think you've started that process, and now it's just a matter of pushing it forward and increasing the momentum. That's my take on it. Aaron, you got anything on that?
I was hoping against hope to find where we addressed this over in the Facebook feed with someone else. But the bottom line was, if you want to activate past clients, probably the way I would go about it is I would find a local charity and I would find a specific need inside that charity, and I would humanize that specific need, right? So, for example, let's just say it's the Shriners, right? Which I think is the example I used in the other post. But you take a Shriners, you take a burn victim, you take a child, and you humanize the child's story. I can't envision anybody not wanting to help support this now, right? And it's much like what Robert Cialdini says in his book about, taking small steps of commitment. There's the classical story, right, of, the knock on the door saying, hey, listen, we're out trying to get a community awareness around a specific community need. Will you put this window sticker in your window? And so, I say, sure, we'll put it in our window, right? A couple of weeks later, somebody else comes in and knocks on their door and says, can we put a yard sign in your yard, right? Well, I've already done the window, so sure, I'll do it. And so the point is, it's the micro steps to bigger commitment, right? So if you get your clients rallying around one specific story, then, you're going to support a person that has a name, has a need, has a goal or whatever. And, we're pushing towards that. That's that window sticker, right? And then before you know it, it's part of the culture. That's the way I would go about it.
Okay.
That's beautiful. And I think you're dead on right about that. And I think that, one of the things that I'm seeing a little bit in the referral challenge is folks pushing the charity is getting attention through the Facebook check-ins, but I don't know that it's getting so much attention through other referrals. It's more about the money side of the referral reward. And that's fine if that's what works for you. I think you need to figure out what works best for you. But what Aaron just said about driving a human interest story from your charity makes for some people it becomes much more compelling, as opposed to, hey, I can get $100 off my next month's fee for working out if I refer somebody. Hey, I can help a kid who's suffered from burns or whatever the situation is. I'm not sure what your charity is, Keith, but that's just a very compelling story, and I think that can help push some people off the fence too. But let me get back to what I said earlier, and that's that everything that we do in marketing is always a process. There is no one thing that fixes everything. Makes it all better. So we always have to look at the process and driving different angles. And I think one of the powerful angles is what Aaron just articulated.
Yeah. That was great. That was good.
All right. Good deal. Wayne, what about you? You got any specific questions or issues or anything that we can help you with?
I did have some questions, but for the referral, local by referral, what's going to be our role? The example you have on there, Fred, is the founder of that chapter. What kind of role are we going to have once it gets going?
Yeah, good question. And so I'll lay everything out for you. But here's the role is this: leader. That's the role. And so this is where, for some people, it gets challenging. I think for you, it'll be a perfect fit. You're with your military background and police officer background, how to lead. And I think most people, I think most business owners, clearly, you don't get to be a successful business owner unless you have some leadership skills. So it's really about leading and making sure that people implement, because you're going to be the keeper of the secrets, as I've said a few times. In terms of the marketing strategy, we're going to explain it to these folks so that they understand it. Your partners, as they come through the funnel, they're going to get exposed to the strategy and some of the tactics, so they have an understanding of what needs to be done. But then they're going to have to meet with you and in a group, and you will lead in terms of saying, okay, so here are the strategies, here's how we're going to implement them, and then just sort of facilitate that process, just like you would lead your staff at work, with your business. So leadership is really the prime thing. And it's initially, there's going to be a little bit of education involved. You're going to have to educate these folks a little bit, but we're going to help you with that. And that's why you'll see all this stuff as it unfolds, but we're going to have a Facebook group specific to local by referral. It's already set up. So as these people come in, regardless of what chapter they come in, they're all going to become members of the Facebook group. So we'll be on the Facebook group to support you, to help educate these people, and we'll continue to put out content that educates them. And so it's not all on your shoulders, but you're going to have to lead. That's the most important job. We'll support everything that you do, and that's the whole thing. If this business is going to work, it's going to require a lot of support from us to have a lot of support for your people, because you understand the strategy, the tactics, but a lot of business owners, they'll get some understanding of it, but they'll be a little fuzzy. They're going to need to have it reinforced. They're going to need to, and that's what we'll do in the group. We'll do that. So I know it's probably still a little unclear for you after that, but hopefully the most important thing to take away is that you're going to lead.
I'm going on faith.
All right. And let me tell you something. The strategy and the tactics that we're going to implement are very basic stuff. It's no rocket science here. And we're going to qualify folks to make sure that they have what they need, like an email list, like a website. If they've got those two things and they're on Facebook, If they've got those three things, they can be an effective partner for you. And just like we've helped you guys learn the tactics and the strategy behind referral marketing on your client side, we will help. We will teach your partners and you all the tactics and strategy for partner referrals as well. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun ride, and it'll be a productive ride. But like everything good, it's not going to pop like that. Nothing really that's really good just instantly pops. It's always a process.
Okay. I don't know if you guys have any ideas off the top of your head. I know you've done things like I don't know exactly what it was called, but the push-up challenge.
Push-up for charity.
Push-ups for charity, and different contests like maybe you can run. I posted a picture last week that a girl was really happy because she had hung for 30 seconds on the dead hang, and you said that you can use stuff like that by, generating more comments and things. Or maybe raffles or something. So along those lines, to generate, some buzz, some comments, some activity on social media. Is there anything off the top of your head or Aaron's head that you can think of?
Well, when I saw that picture, I was thinking you could challenge people. You post that picture and you could say, hey, whatever her name is, Sally, just set a new dead hang record for herself, a new PR of 30 seconds. And hey, this might look easy, but it's pretty challenging. And why don't you try this and post your time? See if you can beat Sally's time. That kind of thing, just to get some engagement on these posts. And then, of course, there's a lot of stuff charity-wise you can do around that. You could do something as simple as a dead hang challenge or something like that for charity, and come, people sponsor you for every 10 seconds you hang. They donate $1 or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff that can be done about it, done around those things. Aaron, you got anything off the top of your head?
So, nothing's universal, all right? So about the time I'm going to say this works really well here in Birmingham, who knows if it'll work well for you, but here in Birmingham, I started a kickboxing facility called Gauntlet Kickboxing. And I'm no longer involved with that now. My brother-in-law runs it, but he started a plank challenge, and he took the logo, which is, like a shield, right? And he made a steel plate out of that cotton picket thing, and this dang big. I mean, it's mounted it on the wall and called it Plank Challenge, and took a grease pencil and started writing people's plank challenge on there and their time and how long they were able to hold a plank. You could knock that off right now with that dead hang thing, right? And, once they've reached 30 seconds or they've reached 45 seconds or a minute or whatever, you go by there and you make the adjustment on their time, right? And you get everybody involved. And it doesn't have to always be around the charity. People do get charity fatigue. Sometimes it's just an internal competitive fun, right? And a celebration of people's accomplishments. So that's the way I would do it. I would create some kind of a celebratory chart, right? Throw down the gauntlet, is the way we would call it, right? And, have official days of testing. All right, today is plank day, how long can you hold a plank, whatever. And so once a week, maybe hold a dead hang challenge, right? And watch people get excited about it.
It's funny you mentioned that. I forgot that I have monkey bars in the facility, and I have a board at the end that once they make it all the way down to the end of the monkey bars, they put their name on the wall of fame. And I've been doing that the whole time. I just maybe not as much as I should.
Yeah. It's amazing if you let your mind go, and that's sometimes difficult to do, but if you can just relax. The way what I do to facilitate that process is I write. And oftentimes it's handwriting, not just typing, but just start jotting down ideas and don't censor yourself and just write them as quickly as you can. And you will find your mind works in very mysterious ways. At least mine does, especially.
Mine certainly does. Ask my wife.
But there's so much you can do, Wayne, and to be creative around that. But I love the monkey bar challenge thing. I love the plank challenge, the dead hang, all that stuff is doable. At the facility where I work out, they do it every month. We have a fitness challenge where, one day out of the month at the end, everybody does this one particular, whatever the challenge is that week. And then they don't do as good a job of, there's a lot more they could do with it, but we do have that challenge every month. So, and it's nice. It breeds competitiveness and everything. That's good.
Yeah, we've done that kind of stuff in my facility. Just even like, how many push-ups can you do in 3 minutes? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
They had all month long to train for it, and then in the month we had a day. It's like, okay, this week or this day, everybody gets their chance to knock out as many push-ups as you can in 3 minutes, and we even had, they have to be correct push-ups, and we explained what that looked like, and people loved it. They loved it.
It's good stuff. 3 minutes is a damn long time when you're doing push-ups.
Yeah. I did 105, by the way.
No, wow. Wow. That's awesome, brother. Good for you. Good for you. I might be able to do that in a day. But a mutual friend of Aaron's and mine, and Tony knows him too, is Paul Fetters, and this guy is a all-natural champion bodybuilder, and he's like close to 60 years old. He's been doing it since he was 18, and he's just shredded. I mean, his physique is amazing. He was a big the first year we launched Push-Ups for Charity, he won our competition, the internal competition. His facility raised the most money for Push-Ups for Charity, and now in the last 3 or 4 years he's been doing his push-ups on the stability balls, on 3 of those little stability balls. So he puts his feet on one and his hands on the other, and he knocks out like 75 or 80 of these on the balls. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Hey, Tony, we can't see you, but is there anything that you want to contribute? I want to get your input on any of this stuff, or if you've got any questions, let us know. T, you there?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I've been kind of back and forth here. Had a guest to meet with for a few minutes, but I'm just talking, and I'll listen to the replay again and get caught up on all the information on the book and what's going on. But I have nothing specific at this time other than just keep implementing.
All right, very good. We'll just jump in if you do, if something comes to mind.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so Wayne, obviously we didn't throw out a whole ton of stuff, but I think hopefully we've stimulated your thought process a little bit. The monkey bar thing came to mind, and that's good. And I think, video, and Aaron and I were just talking about this before we started the call, is one of the things I have on my to-do list going forward is to put out a lot more content. I got to find time to do it, and I'm going to make time, not find time, I'm just going to make time to do it. But so 2 of the things I'm thinking about are either starting a podcast, doing a little bit different style, but either that or just starting with daily Facebook Lives, where I just go on for a short period of time, 5 minutes or something like that, just share a little bit of content. But so the reason I mention this is because video is so powerful. It's so well received on Facebook. Facebook clearly tends to pump up the algorithm, impacts it to some degree because it gets more attention when you go live with that stuff. But even if you're not going live, just using video, so what I'm getting at is, like with that dead hang type stuff or the monkey bar challenge or something, even just videoing stuff like that and popping it up. This is one of the things, Aaron and I follow a couple guys who are very, very sharp markers and different types of markers. They're like Aaron and me. They're not the, make $1 million overnight kind of guys. They're real dudes who have really done some significant things, and guys that we respect. And everybody nowadays, the really respectable guys are talking about the importance of content and putting out content to drive your marketing, as relying on just Facebook ads and things like that. and what, as a business owner, you have access to unlimited amount of content. You don't have to sit down and write stuff all the time. You can just videotape things that are going on in your facility. Clearly, one of the things I think, and I'm not 100% on this, but what I think you ought to do is you need to, the only caveat is that you need to, I think, get people's permission before you post stuff. Just because you don't ever want somebody saying, hey man, why'd you put that video of me on Facebook, and then getting pissed off and do it. But there's so much content. If you just start running, your video camera, and then you get permission, you post it, and that breeds a lot of excitement among people on Facebook who see this stuff. It gets them engaged. They see how much fun people are having at your facility, and how you do different creative things, and it's great content, and it's easy to create. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'm going to make a list for my trainer and I. We've discussed that we need to stop playing around with it and just make a list of exercises, of short videos that we would want to do. And if you have a list, you can just go down the list, make one video after another, and you could do 30 maybe, and that wouldn't take no time at all. And then you could upload them over the course of the next 30 days, and that would be 30 days worth of content. It's just a matter of doing it. And I'm not one to feel comfortable in front of the camera, but I have to get past that and learn to get comfortable with it.
I'm the same way. I've been doing this for a long time, and I still don't enjoy that element, that aspect of it. But yeah, you just got to do it because it's important. But also and I think that's a great idea, what you just mentioned, but I would also encourage you to showcase clients. And the reason for that is because people see you and they know, well, yeah, you own the facility, you're a fitness guy, this stuff should be, you make it look easy kind of thing. But when they can see someone they relate to, someone who is like them doing these things, that makes it more attractive, and it garners more attention as well. All right.
Hey guys, on that note, this is Tony. Something that we've done is we just filmed a bunch of videos with our trainers demonstrating things. So kind of get your team out there, give them a chance to be the star too, if you don't already do that a lot, because their clients like them. They have that relationship with them, especially if you're not the one doing all the training. And the clients will share their videos a lot too. So the other thing that we had to talk about and really made a big difference is initially when I talked about doing fitness videos, I think about what other fitness professionals and gym owners and trainers are going to think if they see the video. But then I have to remind myself that they're not my market. So I don't have to have anything overly complicated or overly challenging, overly difficult. I have to think what's going to be valuable to my market, not what's going to impress other trainers or gym owners. So sometimes we tend to think, oh, that's too simple, that's too basic, and we forget who our market is.
A hugely important point. You got to remember who your market is, who the intended viewer or consumer of the content is, and that's dead on, Tony. That's perfect. In fact, Tony, I saw a video that you just did the other day, which I thought was awesome, where you did I think you did a man maker squat lunge, or no, you did a man maker lunge, and then you walked up the stairs with your dumbbells. Yep,
that was just living room workout. So I'm gonna start posting one or two of those a week, just stuff that I little short stuff I do in my living room, because
We lost you, Tony. What? Say again? We might have lost him. But yeah, Tony, you there? Anyway, he makes a great point. And that's, I think, Wayne, if you're going to do them, what he said, what Tony just said, keep it real simple. If you do it yourself, just a real simple demonstration. Tony.
Muted.
Okay. Just a real simple.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Go for it.
I lost my connection for a second there, but what I was saying is one of the groups I'm trying to reach out more to are dads, and people that might not always have a chance to get to the gym, but if they can do 5 or 10 or 15 minutes worth of something at home, they'll start moving. And so if I can deliver that value to them, then eventually some of them are going to want to come to the gym. And eventually, you know, it might turn into an online client or something like that. So that's something that as I look out there, at least within my friends, there's really nobody putting little short workouts or things like that you can do at home out there. So that's something that I can start doing that. And I'm going to do it anyway. So might as well, you know, film the first set or two of what I do and just plug it on there. It doesn't take any extra time really.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing that. And that's the other thing, you know, Wayne, is that I think about this a lot too, particularly because I've been doing this for a long time and I have an established name in the industry. And so I think here's what holds me back. Frankly, this is my fear, is that I do one of these videos, and particularly if it's a live video, and I just bone it up. I just say something stupid or say something wrong, or I can't, you know, articulate my thoughts clearly or whatever. And then I'm like, well, what are people going to think? And then I catch myself and I'm like, I don't give a damn. Really, that's the attitude I got to have. I don't give it. You can't care what these people think. If you do, screw it up. Either they like it or they don't, or they understand, or they, you know, that you made a mistake or whatever. You just roll with it. So it's just about being real, I guess, is what I'm getting at. It's just the authenticity of the whole thing. And if you do say something that is not appropriate, you kind of just laugh at yourself. That's my plan. I'm just going to be like, well, I really boned that up. You know?
I think a lot of people like that though and respect that too, because if you're too polished or too slick, they'll say, hey, look at this marketing guy, listen to how slick he sounds, you know, as opposed to, man, this is just a real dude giving some real information. He's not being overly fancy with what he's doing here. He's just sharing from the heart something that he thinks is going to be valuable to me. So yeah, if it's not perfect, sometimes that's better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's well said. Well said is what, because we used to, you know, one of the things that we did back when we were doing a lot of direct mail stuff that pulled really well for us. And this is sort of what icing the cake. I mean, Aaron had the experience with icing the cake when he first saw it. He's like, "What? This? Look, this? You want me to mail this out?" Professional. Yeah. And you know, sometimes the less professional it looks, the better it pulls, the better things are. So, and that goes directly to what Tony the point made. So anyway, I think we all just have to get in there and get going and do it, you know, and do it. And you know, you'll get a lot of positive feedback. That's the interesting thing. I mean, maybe not a lot, because sometimes it seems like stuff flies by on Facebook so fast, but you'll get some. And some people will be really engaged, and that's, you just have to kind of lean on that, I think, because that sort of feeds me when I get when people go, hey, that wasn't too bad, that didn't suck.
I think the more that you do it, the easier it's going to be to keep doing it. It's just a matter of getting started.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just like with anything, you got to get started.
I listened to a podcast a couple of weeks ago. I think it was on the School of Greatness, and it was Dean Gracio. He's a real estate guy.
Yeah, Gracio.
I've never seen him, but apparently he's been on TV doing infomercials for years.
Yeah.
But he mentioned that he thinks his secret is being authentic and enthusiasm, because he just comes across as a normal guy, and he didn't sound polished and professional like you said, but he says just being real and his enthusiasm, people relate to him.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect description, because the people now, you can't really be fake. You can be fake for a short period of time, but people will always, the truth comes out on the internet. They can always find stuff about you, and if you're fake, they'll know. So the authenticity is key, and then the enthusiasm. You know, Aaron, you described selling as a transfer of enthusiasm, right, Aaron?
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that's a perfect, and that's what Grazioso is doing. He's selling. I mean, even when he's just delivering content, you're selling people on your idea. And so that enthusiasm, that goes a long, long way. So, yeah, it's good. Yeah, that dude, I remember when his infomercials used to run all the time. I mean, all the time. He was a big-time real estate guru for a long time. I don't know what he's doing now. Is he still doing real estate?
I don't know if he is. He just wrote a book called Millionaire Habits. and that's what he was promoting, I guess, was that book.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, Wayne. Anything else we can help you with?
Yeah, I'm on board that if we have to up the per person thing for the book, I'd rather up it than you guys put it on the back shelf.
Me too. Yeah.
You said it in that way.
That's my vote.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. I have faith in what you guys are doing. You guys have done a lot of good stuff in the past, so I have no reason to think that this wouldn't be good and take off. And seems like a great opportunity to be on the ground floor. As far as the person that you want us to highlight, is there a certain theme that's going to run through the book? Like
transformation. That's the theme. Is transformation. So it doesn't have to be dramatic physical transformation. What needs the most important thing is the emotional component. So if it's dramatic physical transformation, that's great. But if maybe it's just dramatic lifestyle transformation. It went from being a shut-in, and overweight to losing a few pounds, but getting out into life. It's all about how that story is positioned. And one of the things you ought to do is search, and I'll see if I can find this, but you ought to search it too, is just see if there are any of these Chicken Soup for the Soul stories available online. Either that or get the book. But because they're short stories that are all, they're just really well, they're well crafted, and ours aren't going to be as polished as those. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that it just be a transformative story, a hero's journey. And we can do a call where Aaron can explain that a little bit more, because he really understands the hero's journey process and how to, he can teach that. It takes some practice, but that's one of the big benefits of doing this. And frankly, I think that, as you said, even if it's $195, just to get that practice of crafting the story and also learning all about the publishing, about how book publishing and everything, and having a best-selling book at the end of the day is totally worth $200. But yeah, to answer your story, Wayne, transformation. That's the theme.
All right, thanks.
And so if you look at the title, Fuel Your Soul, Transform Your Body, I got to write up, and Aaron and I will work on this together, but write up the copy for the back of the book. And that'll be something that we'll share with you guys, so you get a sense of what we're trying to accomplish is just readers fuel their soul by reading these stories about other people like them who've done these things and changed their lives. And that fuels your soul. It gives you that enthusiasm, that energy, that desire to make the changes. And then also there's a little description on how they did it as well. So that gives you sort of the how-to bit. So you're fueling your soul with this emotional story about physical transformation and lifestyle transformation.
I just saw that cover today on the Facebook post. It's a great looking cover.
Yeah, and well, thank you. But that's just rough. I just did a mock-up. I mean, we might end up with something like that. I don't know, but I liked it too. The only issue I have with it is that it's a woman's body only, and there will certainly be stories of women and men. But I was thinking, as we move forward, if this thing does well, we could do a Fuel Your Soul for women. We could do a Fuel Your Soul for dads. We could do a Fuel Your Soul for teenagers. We could do, there could be all sorts of options, just like Chicken Soup did. Yeah.
238 titles.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. They've got Fuel Your Soul for one-eyed little people who live in, Arkansas.
Hidden lovers.
Yeah, really. All right. So, Tony, anything else we can do for you? You all good? Because we're going to wrap it up here unless.
Yep, I'm all good.
All right. Thanks for being on the call. Wayne, anything else before we wrap it up?
Good. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Good deal. Thank you. Aaron, thanks as always.
I too.
You guys take care.